They said the Cold War was over. They said the age of military intimidation had passed. But when a massive U.S. aircraft carrier cuts through the waters of Latin America, people start to ask the same question again. Is this protection or projection of power? The scene is tense. The waves crash against steel walls carrying fighter jets, missiles, and a message that the world still runs on might, not just diplomacy. Latin American nations are watching. Russia and China are listening. And the United States, it's reminding everyone that it still rules the oceans. For decades, America's aircraft carriers have been floating symbols of dominance. Each one is a city on water. Thousands of sailors, hundreds of aircraft, and enough firepower to reshape any coastline. So when news broke that the U.S. Navy deployed a carrier group toward Latin America, it wasn't just a routine exercise. It was a move filled with signals. Some saw it as a show of strength to reassure allies. Others called it a warning, a reminder that Washington's eyes are still on every corner of the hemisphere. Latin America has recently become a quiet battlefield of influence. China is investing billions in ports, railways, and energy projects. Russia has been selling weapons, training troops, and building ties with governments that oppose the West. The U.S., long seen as the dominant force in the region, can feel its grip loosening. Sending a carrier group isn't just about training. It's about saying, "We're still here." It's a message to Moscow, to Beijing, and to anyone else thinking America has stepped back. The carrier itself, imagine the sight. FA-18 jets lined up like hawks on a nest, engines ready to roar. Pilots briefed for drills, radars scanning the sky, submarines lurking beneath the surface. A full strike group moves like a single living organism, every piece trained to respond in seconds. Wherever it sails, tension follows. In coastal towns, fishermen look up as sonic booms echo overhead. Local media debate the real purpose of the mission. Is it humanitarian, strategic, or something darker? Experts point to timing. Just as political instability spreads through parts of South America and Chinese investments tighten their grip, the U.S. arrives with its most powerful military hardware. It's not coincidence, it's choreography. Washington knows that presence equals power. And while diplomacy happens in conference rooms, influence is often decided on open seas. The reaction across the region is mixed. Some nations welcome the move, saying it guarantees safety and balance. Others accuse the U.S. of repeating old patterns, interfering, intimidating, flexing its muscle to protect interests rather than people. In cities like Caracas, Havana, and La Paz, pro-Russian voices call it provocation. But in capitals like Bogotá and Brasilia, officials quietly sigh of relief, knowing that American protection still comes with benefits. Behind the scenes, global powers are taking notes. Russia has already increased joint military exercises in the Caribbean. China has boosted its presence in Panama and Nicaragua. These moves mirror each other. One nation sends warships, another signs trade deals. It's a new kind of cold conflict, fought not with bombs, but with ports, pipelines, and presence. And at the heart of it all sails the U.S. carrier, a reminder that history might not repeat, but it surely rhymes. The U.S. military says the mission's goal is cooperation, training local forces, supporting anti-drug operations, and strengthening partnerships. But seasoned observers know that every deployment carries layers of intent. Every flight drill, every joint exercise, every port visit is a chess move on a global board. The U.S. wants to remind Latin America that no matter who offers loans or builds factories, only Washington can guarantee security. On social media, videos of jets taking off from the deck go viral. Hashtags like American Power and Naval Might trend for hours. Comment sections fill with divided opinions, admiration, criticism, fear. Ordinary people can't ignore the imagery. It's cinematic, almost unreal. Blue ocean, massive gray steel, the sound of engines louder than thunder. And yet behind that spectacle lies a deep geopolitical truth. The world is shifting again, and the oceans are where the next influence war is being fought. Analysts in Washington whisper that this deployment is also meant for home audiences, a signal to voters that America remains strong, focused, and unchallenged. As elections near, nothing boosts confidence like the sight of American power in motion. The message is clear. While rivals expand on land, the U.S. still owns the sea. For Latin America, this might be the start of a new chapter, a region caught between superpowers, between promises of development and displays of dominance. The aircraft carrier's shadow stretches far beyond the coastline, into trade deals, political decisions, and public opinion. Each visit, each maneuver, each flag hoisted high tells a silent story about who really holds the power to shape the future. And for the rest of the world, watching from afar, the question lingers. Is this peacekeeping or positioning? Protection or provocation? History has shown that when great powers move their fleets, they rarely do so without purpose. The oceans have always carried secrets, and right now, one of them is wrapped in the sound of roaring engines and rolling waves heading straight toward Latin America. Because in geopolitics, presence is everything. And once again, America is making sure everyone remembers exactly who commands the seas.